Welcome to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at the Spiderwick Chronicles, The Wrath of Mulgarath, Chapter 4. And man, this book is just intense. So much going on. And the chapter starts with Mallory and Jared captured. They have, you know, things on their wrists. Their ropes are tied to their wrists. And Hogsquill is carrying Mallory's big, beautiful sword and like pushing them along. And it looks pretty bad, but this is all part of the plan. The ropes around their wrist are not very tight, so Mallory and Jared could open them or get out very easily. And they're walking into the camp. And the other goblins see them and they come out and they're looking at him, and Hogsquill says, "I caught him. I did it." And then one really big goblin kind of comes out. It looks like to be the leader. And he's like, "You caught them?" And he's like, "Well, they're mine now." And he takes the Grace Children. And this goblin captain, Hogsquill tries to argue with them, saying, "These are my prizes. I'm going to take them to the master. Don't hurt them. They're mine." But the goblin captain doesn't care what Hogsquill says, and he just kind of knocks him out of the way because Hogsquill's not that brave. And so then the captain, he takes, he says he's gonna go tell Mulgarath that he caught the Grace Children, and he tells the other goblins to keep an eye on them and to tie them up to a car, I think. So the goblin captain leaves. And they're tied to a car. So Mallory and Jared are captured. They're next to this car. The hobgoblin is like just sitting next to the fire with his sword. The other goblins start to look at Mallory and Jared and think, those guys look delicious. Maybe we can just eat a little bit of them. And they're talking to each other, and Mallory and Simon are like, "Yeah, get away." Not Simon, Jared. Until finally, one of the Hogsquill tries to say, like, "Hey, leave them alone, they're mine." But the goblins are like, "Hey, we're gonna hurt you if you don't shut up." So Hogsquill just leaves them alone. And then finally, it gets to such, the goblins get so close or so ready to hurt them that the Grace Children take off their ropes and they start to fight. And they yell, "Hogsquill, throw me the sword!" Hogsquill looks at them, drops the sword, and runs away in the other direction. And so Mallory and Jared are fighting the goblins all by themselves. I think Jared ends up getting the sword, throwing it to Mallory. Mallory takes the sword, and she actually stabs one of the goblins, killing it. Mallory's like, "What?" But she doesn't have time to think as she's fighting off other goblins. Just as things are looking bad, and how does it end? I'm trying to think. I read the next chapter, so I don't want to give any spoilers. And then they end doing some fighting, I think. Sorry. Vocabulary: jostle. Jostle is to be shake. If you imagine a truck, if there's many boxes in a truck and the truck is driving, and it hits a bump, everything inside becomes jostled, shooken, shaked, moved. Deliberately means purposely, with intent, with desire. Hissed. I think these are the salamanders, because there's a little black salamanders, I think, running around, and the goblins throw them in the fire, but they don't get hurt by fire, and they hiss like a snake. Haphazard. This is like carelessly, like, okay. Maybe when you get home from school or work or after a long day, you take off your coat and you just kind of haphazardly throw your coat on a chair, throw it on the couch, throw it on a table. You don't take it off and put it on a hanger and put it in the closet. Oh, you're tired. You just don't really care. Scuttled is kind of like a crab moving side to side, a kind of movement like running, jumping, jogging. Scuttle is kind of like kind of moving side to side. Tarnished is like old and damaged and unclear. Frayed. If you look at my shirt here, if I were to rip it, small little pieces of the yarn would stick out, and we call that frayed. So I'm not sure if someone's clothes were frayed or some of the furniture or something, but some of the fiber was sticking out. More vocabulary. Oh, what? Okay, we already had jostled. The next one, sorry. Scallywags. This is what the pirate captain says. Oh, the pirate's captain hat is frayed. So if you look at the picture, you can see little strings coming out of his hat. Scallywags. Hogsquill says a bunch of bad things. He calls people a bunch of funny names. But this one is a very common one for pirates. They say scallywag to someone that's very low. So the Captain Goblin calls the humans, or maybe Hogsquill, scallywags. Tether means connect. So if you think about a balloon is usually tethered to a chair or to a cart, and it's floating in the air, but something connects it to ground. And so the Grace children, even though they have these ropes, they get tethered to an old junky car. So they take another string and they connect them to the car so they can't get away. Luckily, their wrist ones are very easy to slip out of. Leering is like staring really carefully, like you're hungry or you want something. And so the goblin's like, they're just looking at the Grace children leeringly, like they want to eat them. Bellowed is like a big deep cry. I can't remember what bellows. Maybe one of the goblins gets hurt and he kind of has this really deep loud yell. Waning means getting less and less and less and less. And I think they're talking about the sunlight. The sunlight is waning, getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Opalescent black, which is like opalescent. Opal, maybe you know, is like a white color with a rainbowy kind of reflection. Okay, so opalescent black is that same thing, but imagine a black color, but it's a little bit shiny, like a rainbow. If you Google opalescent black, you can see a lot of different rocks or colors that are black, but if you turn it in the light, you can see a little bit of a rainbow. And the salamanders are opalescent tapered. Tapered is like narrowing down. I can't remember exactly what is becoming tapered in the story, but it's maybe wide. Let me do it maybe this way, and then getting narrower and narrower, closer and closer together. So something is tapered, getting narrower. Discussion question. What would you do to Hogsquill if you found him later? Okay, when the Grace children need him, they're, Hogsquill, throw the sword. He looks at him, whoa, drops the sword, and runs away. Now, assuming, hoping that the Grace children live and everything's okay, and if they found Hogsquill later, what would they do to him? What would you do to him if you found him again? Of course, please make your own discussion question. That's all the time that we have for today, but thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye. Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.